Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wise Tips. Eduardo, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm really good. And here we go with the wise tips. Let's see if we can do it short.
All right, let's try. Let me go ahead and add your screen there so you can drive. And so we selected a couple ones today. And some of these are kind of our hints and tips as we look towards breeding season. And others, of course, are just some little fun facts for you as well. So first, I'm going to start off in the patient file. And so we all know, of course, and especially during breeding season, heaven knows, horses seem to change hands quite a bit. Whether, they get sold from one person to another, or of course, the classic recipient owner change that happens every year. And the owner gets about 3 different horses. Yeah. Anyhow, so it's really nice to be able to keep track of that and also have a history of that. So from here, from this patient file, we can go ahead and check the box next to their name and then use that icon in the bottom left-hand corner with the 3 dots and 3 lines to go ahead and look at their ownership and look at 2 things. One is going to be their ownership history log, which is the first option there at the bottom. This is going to show you a list of all of the times that this horse changed hands. So every time you change that owner right there at the top right-hand corner in that patient file, it logs it, who did it, when, and what the new owner is. Now below that, you have then owner log based on billing. So what that's going to allow you to do is actually, like we said, of course, we know that you can go ahead and bill horses to different people, even though they're not their owners. So different invoices might have different owners. So this shows you a list of all the invoices of that horse based on their owner. So you can see a list of all the invoices of that horse and the owner of each one of those invoices. So just a little hint tip for, looking towards breeding season and change in ownership. Eduardo, do you have anything to add with that?
Yeah, I think it's really, really handy because one thing it's when the user just go there and change the ownership. So
Right.
of course, event log, who did what, accountability. But
Yeah.
I love that feature when you have, based on when you send the bill out, it's completely different approach. And you have both options in one option. Again, another suggestion from our users, and we just made it happen.
Definitely. Well, next, also looking towards breeding season, if we go ahead and actually close this and go back to our main screen, everyone knows, of course, when you log into Wise Option, you get this really nice little image here of the horse with the Wise Option logo. We actually give you the option to actually add your own company logo here to the home screen of Wise Option. So we know a big part of, your business and your company is branding. Just with any company, you want that brand recognition. You want to be able to go somewhere with your phone, your tablet, etc., and to have people associate your business with you and your actions. So to do that, again, we allow you to actually go ahead and add your own wallpaper. To do this, just go ahead and create a support ticket, and we'll come with you. We need the logo in a certain format and a certain size. And actually, we allow you also to send multiple logos as well. So if you can send up to 5 logos to us, and what will happen is Wise Option will actually randomly choose from the 5 you selected. It'll actually, every time you log in, it will choose one of them. So you can have some variety there, of course, if you'd like to as well. This is also super helpful if you have Wise Option on like your iPad that you use quite frequently, and maybe you take the iPad with you to places. So again, just one more place that you can put your logo, get your brand out there, and Wise Option to help you do that.
I think it's always about, branding and the recognition about the name. So I love that feature because especially when you are with your customer on your shoulder or you're showing something and you have that, custom look of your business there looking on the main screen. It's a little thing, but we are visual creatures and we buy with our eyes and it looks very professional. I love that. So just use it and we're going to brand the system that looks your business.
Yes, definitely. Well, the next one we came up with was, again, looking towards breeding season, thinking ahead. So we know a lot of you guys are kind of looking at when you're going to start palpating, when you guys are going to start bringing your recip up. So a lot of you, I know, probably have already put mares under lights. So one thing we're going to talk about is getting mares ready for that and actually scheduling mares. So if we go to the mare management button at the top of the screen and we go ahead and click on mare records, this is actually going to bring a summary of all of the active, I believe it's mares over the age of 2. And all of their last palpations and when they were last seen and when they've been rescheduled for. So this screen is really nice for 2 functions. The first function, of course, during breeding season is it's an auditing tool. So this allows you to go ahead and look at all of your active horses above the age of 2 that you can actually go through and look and see their palpations. We all know palpating happens 90 miles an hour. So this is a really great way to just do a double check, get your sleep at night. Can you guys get some nice peaceful sleep, get some rest, and know that you've entered all the information correctly and all your mares are rescheduled correctly. This is really easy to go use your eye to go down and see a mare you forgot to reschedule because there's a big NA there, or maybe a date that doesn't make sense. So again, really good auditing tool, but as we're looking towards breeding season, this also is really helpful for scheduling massive amounts of mares. You'll notice there's those buttons down there that says schedule and reschedule. There's some helpful hints down there. Rescheduling is for one horse, scheduling is for multiple. So you can actually select massive amounts of horses to schedule them for that first day of palpation. So just a little hint and tip as we look towards breeding season with that. But like I said, good for scheduling multiple mares and also, of course, that auditing tool during breeding season.
One of the very popular, I would say, when I'm visiting prospects who are thinking about coming to Wise Option, one of the very, very frequent questions is, can you help me make sure that no mare is left behind? So this form we chose today to show they're completely obsessed about this form. So this is the opportunity Wise Option has to just make sure mares are not out there having a good life and not coming for palpations. Another thing that I love about this mare is that this form is because it does show the very last line on each mare record. But if you want to see more, you just double click and it's going to open the mare record with all the registries. So at your fingertips, not only the last, but also you can have access to mare records from here as well.
Yes. Definitely. Well, the next one we came up with has to do with search queries. So we'll go ahead and we'll start on the patient file, but as everyone who uses Wise Option knows, search queries are everywhere, from patients to customers to different data entry forms to even to billing. Queries are everywhere. So all a search query is just basically a saved search. That's all it is. But you can make these really simple and you can make these really complex. We, of course, recommend starting very simple. And this is something looking towards breeding season that is really great to start now. If you guys don't use search queries quite a bit or you don't have any favorite search saved ones, give me a ring, create a support ticket, let me know. I'd be happy to help you get started. I got really good at these thanks to Eduardo. So these ones are a lifesaver. So it's great to start here at a couple places. First is the patient file, to go ahead and add a search query, whether it's a list of your geldings, your donor mares, your recips, your 2-year-olds. This is a great way to just get a massive list of horses in front of your eyes. It's a lot faster than you just searching individually. And of course, it's also a lot faster than using those filters if you can have these saved queries. You notice when you create the queries, you actually have an option that says to make it a favorite. A favorite query shows here in the drop-down menu where Eduardo is. So it's really quick when you make them a favorite. Again, they're just right there in that drop-down menu. You don't even have to open up this window. It's saved and it's right there. We have a couple recommendations for, like I said, if you're getting started, start here in the patient file. Start in the customer file, get that custom list of customers right up in front of you. Customers maybe that have the whole bill, customers you've sent to collections, customers with a certain tag. Maybe they have a breeding tag, maybe they don't have their contract yet. And looking even farther into that, your multiple data entry form as well. Your multiple data entry form is where you're entering in your massive amounts of vaccines you just gave to all your 2-year-olds, you just dewormed all your recip mares. So again, using those search queries to go ahead and get those custom list of horses, really going to cut down on the time for your data entry. Also, another place, which I think we've talked about this in a Wise tip before, is the patient procedure summary. So another place that has that search bar there on the side, on the left-hand side, to go ahead and again, use those custom search queries to get the custom group of horses right in front of you, to make, surfing through their files a lot quicker. Again, groups of donor mares, recips with certain tags on them, your geldings, your 2-year-olds, your yearlings, your babies, everything can be a search query. And there's no limit to them. So make as few, delete them when you don't need them anymore. There's no harm to it.
Very efficient, easy way to handle, the lists. You really hit one of the best things. One of those small details that makes things really, really efficient in the program. Customization, love it.
Yes.
Good choice.
Yeah. Well, our last one we have today is actually go to the patient file, and it's their patient history. So this is something that's been around for a little bit, but we noticed that not everybody is using it, and it's just something we kind of wanted to highlight today, especially coming into breeding season. The patient history, which is right there in the center there on the patient file, that actually shows a history of everything that's happened at the horse. I'm talking everything. I'm talking every time it was checked out of board, every time I had a palpation, if it got checked if you have the hospital module and it got a hospital record and you entered the soap, shows the soap in there too. Everything, every procedure you entered, everything is there. So this is a really great way, again, if you're an attending veterinarian or if you're the manager of a facility and you're just looking through and you want to get an overview of everything. We all know that horses are funny creatures, like to get hurt, et cetera. And sometimes there are trends, and we just want to look and just see a complete overview of the horse, when they left, when they came back. Is this connected? When did they change feed? When did they get the vaccine? It's all here, and you can see it all on one page. This is also, just for those of you who attended our wish list webinar, know that this is one of the items on our list, is to be able to actually, share medical records with other facilities, whether it's a hospital or you want to go ahead and share that with the owner, and actually be able to share that link. This is actually the form we're basing that off of. So you being able to custom select, and of course from this form here, you can actually see there at the top, you can select what information you'd like to view. If you don't want them to see the reproduction, or you don't want to view the repro records, just uncheck the repro records. If you don't want to view the hospital records, you don't have to. And it'll work the same way when we create that link that you can send to other hospitals, other facilities, et cetera. You can pick and choose what information that you want to share. And of course, there will be an expiration date on that link too. But just something as we look towards breeding season, that this is available for you just to go ahead and view on a patient level. Like I said, just a good way to get a good overview of that particular patient.
We've been looking at doctors in the past, and especially equine hospitals, when they're receiving the patient and they need a quick glance of everything. In the past, they used to just have a stack of paper for every single patient. That's it. That doesn't make sense whatsoever. You could have this in your iPad, and you just right there, you have the entire history, not for the last 30 days, but for the last 3 years, 5 years,
Yes.
whatever. And, you can customize everything. I think it's one of those forms that it takes a while for users to get used to the switch and bring their, wrap their mind around the concept.
Yes.
But the ones that go to this, they get completely addicted. The easiness to have all the medical records and different positions in a program in one single place. And I love the fact that charges are on one side and comments are on the other side.
Yes,
so every time there's something
so
that there was an interaction with the user, it's on the right side. But if there was something automatically charged, and you have the chance to show or not the price, and I think one advantage right there on the top is the fact that this is going to go hand in hand what's available on the cloud in the future on a per patient basis.
Yes.
Because we also have to remember that sometimes patients have a start date for ownership, and the previous owner doesn't want to disclose. So each user is going to be able to customize on a per patient basis. A very good feature. Awesome. I would encourage you out there to give it a shot.
Yes, definitely. Well, I think we ran through all of our lists. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Tomorrow, a big meeting. So we're going to have, for those of our users, we're going to have a huge event. Unfortunately not open as this one, because this one here is for everybody, but we have our discussion group, which is only for users, and we're going to be hosting a meeting online where we're going to make decisions, and we're going to decide about a couple of changes on financial reports. And I'd like to invite you all to come and join us, please.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll see you all real soon.
Rachel, it's so hard to do less than 10 minutes. One day.
I know. We'll work on it. Well, there's always next week, right?
We're going to make it happen. Next week, we're going to make it happen. Thank you, guys.
Bye.